Hey everyone, I'm Nick Gallick, and today we're taking a look at what's new in FabFilter Pro C3. Starting off with the brand new Auto Threshold feature. With Auto selected, the threshold now becomes level independent. What this means is that the same consistent amount of gain reduction will be applied to the signal regardless of the input levels. With this, we can apply the same character of compression to our signal despite any wildly fluctuating loud or soft sections. Another exciting new feature of the Pro C3 are the 6 brand new compression types. Here we can see them as versatile, smooth, upward, TTM, Op-L, and Verimu. All really cool new styles. Let's check out the versatile style on this acoustic drum loop. I'm a big fan of this compression type. It's very expressive and you can feel it moving with the energy of the music. Now I'm going to switch that over to the smooth compression type. In contrast to the versatile type, smooth seems to be more chilled out and consistent, so we can achieve a very natural, organic sounding compression with this type. Nice. Now let's check out the upward mode. With upwards compression, we set a threshold and all the signal that falls below that threshold will get raised. That means that the quieter elements of our signal will get louder. This is the opposite of how we are working when we're using downwards compression, which is what is most common. So with upwards compression, I can do the reverse and I can bring to the forefront aspects of the signal that were quieter previously. I have this guitar part here. Let's listen to it with no compression. I'm going to bypass the Pro C3. So you can hear that guitar part is very percussive. We're hearing a lot of the pick scraping against the strings. Still, the tonal notes are loudest. If I wanted to emphasize the pick scraping and percussiveness of this sound, I can utilize this upward compression mode. So now I'm going to unbypass the plugin. It is in upwards mode, and I have the ratio set way high so we can really hear what's happening. As I move my threshold to the left, you're going to start to notice more and more of that pick scraping brought to the forefront of the sound. Notice how, as I started to pull the threshold, we started to hear more and more of that percussive pick scrape. So that's something that upwards compression can do. Very exciting new feature built into the new FabFilter Pro C3. Now let's go back to the drum beat to check out the TTM style compression. TTM, standing for to the max, is an explosive sounding compression. It combines upwards and downward compression simultaneously. I'm going to play this drum loop, and as I move the threshold, you'll notice the kick and snare become punchier, while simultaneously the hi-hats and cymbals become crispier and more in the forefront than they were previously. So now you can hear just how explosive this really sounds. This would be a great creative tool if we wanted to blend this in parallel with our drums. It would definitely create great energy. Finally, let's jump over to this synth track to check out the last two of the styles included in the new Pro C3. You'll see in the Vintage tab, we have Verimu and Op-L. The Verimu is a tube-based compressor, and the Op-L is a opto-style compression. Let's listen to the Verimu. Nice. Now let's switch that over to Op-L and check out what that sounds like. Both of those sound great. Another exciting new feature in the Pro C3 is the addition of 3 new character modes. You'll see here we can choose between tube, diode, or bright to increase the harmonic saturation of our compression. Of course, we still have access to the classic clean Pro C sound with the character setting off. But if we choose one of these styles, we can now explore new territories. You'll notice there's a drive slider here where we can increase or decrease the amount of character that we're hearing. And we also have a pre-post button to apply this saturation either before or after the compression. Let's take a look at the tube style character right now in post. I'm going to start off with the drum beat playing without it, and then I'm going to switch to tube so we can hear how it impacts the sound. Now I'm going to switch this to pre. So you can really hear how it adds a great deal of flavor to the sound. Now, the tube character has a nice warm saturation to it. The diode character has a nice crispiness to the saturation. And the bright character is a great option when you want saturation without all of that warmth to it. Let's check out how the diode sounds. And finally, let's check out how it sounds with the bright setting. Here's the drums off. Now on. Now pre. Nice. So you can see now we have access to so many more sounds out of the Pro C3 than we had in the previous versions. Now let's see what's new in the sidechain section. We can now add up to 6 different bands to the EQ section, and each of those bands has access to all of the shapes found in the FabFilter Pro Q4. You'll see over here we have the internal side chain, the external side chain, and now we also have the host sync option. This is a really cool creative tool. Watch what I can do to this synth with the host sync sidechain option. What this does is it syncs the audio to a pulse, and the pulse is set by the tempo of your DAW. So right now you'll see the pulse up here at the top section. Will play the synth and you'll hear its modulation. So in addition to syncing the compressor up to the tempo, it also allows you the opportunity to then edit that pulse by utilizing whole notes, quarter notes, half notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, so on and so forth. You have a offset control where you can then further offset that pulse, and a length, which is the length of time for that generated pulse. So there's a lot of creative applications that we can utilize this host sync feature. Additionally, we could choose the MIDI feature and we can have the compressor trigger via a MIDI command. Now I want to show you a new feature that will definitely improve on your workflow. And it's actually contained in the FabFilter Pro Q4. So if I open up any Pro Q4 instance and then I navigate to the instance list, I can not only see every Pro Q4 instance in my session, but I can also see every Pro C3 instance in my session. So within this one window, I can manipulate and adjust all of my EQs and compressors throughout my session. It's very efficient and a huge improvement to the workflow. And to top it off, FabFilter has added oversampling up to 32 times, look ahead up to a maximum 20 milliseconds with the look ahead slider to adjust the maximum value, and support for immersive and Dolby Atmos formats.